Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my roommate's medical bills after he got hurt using my workout equipment? I, 28 male, live with my roommate Eric, 26 male, who moved in about 6 months ago. He's a decent guy overall, but we've had our fair share of disagreements. The latest incident, though, has really pushed me to my limits. So I'm a bit of a fitness enthusiast and have a small home gym set up in our apartment. It's nothing fancy, just some weights, a treadmill, and a few other pieces of equipment. Eric has always shown a mild interest, but never really used any of it. I've always told him he could use it as long as he's careful and knows what he's doing. In fact, I even gave him a brief rundown on how to use everything safely when he first moved in, but I guess that didn't stick. Last week, I came home from work to find Eric sprawled out on the floor, clutching his leg and moaning in pain. I immediately asked what happened. Apparently, he decided to try out my weight bench for the first time while I was away. Not only did he load it up with more weight than he could handle, but he also didn't set the safety bars correctly. Long story short, the weights came crashing down and he ended up with a pretty nasty leg injury. I rushed him to the hospital and he had to get surgery. The doctors said he had a fractured leg and would need a few months to recover. When we got back home, Eric dropped a bombshell. He expected me to cover his medical bills. He argued that since it was my equipment and I didn't explicitly warn him about the dangers, even though I thought it was common sense, I should be responsible for his medical expenses. I told him there's no way I'm paying for his bills. He used the equipment without proper knowledge or supervision, which isn't my fault. I feel bad that he got hurt, but at the end of the day, it was his decision to use the weights incorrectly. He called me a heartless a-hole and said that as a roommate I should have his back. Now he's giving me the silent treatment and has even started a smear campaign among our mutual friends, painting me as some kind of villain who doesn't care about his well-being. Some of our mutual friends think I'm right and that it's his responsibility to use the equipment safely. Others think I should at least contribute to the bill since it was my equipment that caused the injury. I've even had a few suggest that I should have put up more warnings or restricted access to the gym when I'm not around. One friend even said I should have made him sign a waiver before using the equipment, which seems pretty extreme to me. To add more context, Eric is currently out of work and doesn't have health insurance, which makes the financial burden even heavier on him. I get that he's in a tough spot, but I don't see how that suddenly becomes my responsibility. He's been sulking around the apartment, making passive-aggressive comments about how I don't care about his well-being and how a good roommate would step up in this situation. I've tried to reason with him, explaining that I can't be held accountable for his actions, but he's not hearing it. Now, the tension in our apartment is unbearable. I'm starting to dread coming home because I know there will be some new form of guilt trip waiting for me. Some friends have even stopped coming over because they don't want to get caught in the middle of our conflict. Am I the a-hole?